Hey, Collective Grand Risings. I want to share with you guys my dream. Basically, and really, it's not a dream. It's really real life. But I guess the dream came to uh, for me to go ahead and share it. You know what I'm saying? Because it might help somebody else. Once I tell you guys this, it just might help you um, in some way in your life. But February 9th, 2014, my brother was murdered by Stockton Police Department. Now, me and my brother, we were super close. He was the only person in this world that, besides my children, that I knew really loved me. Basically, it was requited love. I was the only other adult in my life that it was requited love. You know what I'm saying? And when we got pulled over, he told me that he wanted to get out the car because he wanted to make sure that I wouldn't get hurt. And in turn, he was trying to get out the car, but the police shot him. They shot him 6 times, and he fell into the back seat. Now, my brother was a very big dude. He was 6'2", about 275, 280. So he was a really big guy. And at the time, I had a 2012 khaki-colored Chevy Impala. He was in the back seat. I'm not going to go into what happened prior. I'll save that for another time. But this was very specific in the dream, so I'm going to go ahead and share this part. But and once they shot him 6 times, excuse me, he fell back into the back seat and he was laying across the back seat, but his feet were out of the car. You know what I'm saying? Like his knees and his feet were out of the car. They proceeded to tase him. They proceeded to beat him with billy clubs. Now, mind you, this whole time, my window is open enough to where an officer had a gun pointed to my temple, and another one was in the front of the car on the windshield, pointing directly to my face. Another one was on the passenger side, pointed, to me, and there were two in the back, pointed to the back of my head. So, of course, I'm completely numb by then. You know what I'm saying? I could literally smell my brother dying. I could smell blood. I could hear him screaming. I could see him, and it was just a completely terrifying experience, And once they got done doing everything, they put the dogs in on him. And, since that day, I have been very hateful and biased towards German Shepherds. You know what I'm saying? And that used to be a dog that I really loved. But after that day, I could care less for a German Shepherd. And they let the dogs basically bite plugs out of my brother's body. And the dogs pulled him out of the back seat and ripped his clothes off. By the time the dogs got him completely out of the vehicle, my brother only had on his jeans and no shirt, and it was freezing. Like I said, it was February 9th. It was raining a little bit too, so he had on a white t-shirt, a white button-up shirt, and a big black puff coat. You know what I'm saying? So that just goes to show you how vicious the dogs were. So when the dogs finally got him out and uh, had him in like the gutter part, that's when the police jacked me up, and I mean, my arm almost broke. I have scars still from the handcuffs on my arm. Um, they put me in the back of the car. They took me out of my car and put me in a cruiser that was sitting right next to us. And so I asked the police, I said, so what am I being arrested for? And he told me that I was being arrested for accessory to murder. Accessory to murder. Accessory to my own brother's murder. It boggled my mind. And while I'm sitting there looking at my brother's lifeless body, I can see blood coming from each bullet wound across his back, and they have my brother face down in the gutter. And an ambulance that I had never seen before in my life. It was like, well, I'll take that back. The ambulances here in Georgia look a lot like the one ambulance that I had seen that day in California. And I had never seen an ambulance like that before in my life. But they came and they swooped him up, and they proceeded to take me. I thought they were taking me to the police station, but they actually took me to the FBI quarters that they have. Now, mind you, by this time, I'm looking around and it's, we went up into a garage, into one of those dark garages where you go up and up and up and up. And it was so pitch black dark. By that time, I had got so calm because I'm like, okay, they're going to kill me too. And they took me into an interrogation room, locked me in there. And I was in there for approximately 11 hours and like 47 minutes because I could see the clock. And they kept trying to tell me that, to tell them the truth, to tell them that my brother was a drug dealer, that he had weapons on him, and all of these things that were not true. You know what I'm saying? They kept trying to basically bully me into agreeing with them that it was justifiable homicide, and that's something that I would never agree to. So that's why I was there for so long, right? um, I asked repetitively if I can call my dad, if I could just call my dad, and they're like, no, bitch. Basically, this is how they were talking to me. Bitch, you not calling no fucking body. You know what I'm saying? You're going to tell us what the fuck we want to know, or your ass is going down too. We're going to find something on you. And I'm like, you're not going to find anything on me because I don't have a criminal record. You know what I'm saying? Well, then I didn't. I got a criminal record at the age of what? Fucking 44 years old here in Georgia. I had never had a criminal record in my life. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so they were threatening me as far as they were gonna find something on me. I was gonna go to prison, and I'm like, that's a lie. I already know it. You know what I'm saying? And you guys have already done the worst. You guys have killed the only person in this world that I knew who really loved me back. You know what I'm saying? So that was like something that you guys can't do any more to me than what you already did. You know. So I guess they finally got their stories together, and they came in and at first the officer asked me, Antoinette, are you hungry? You want some pizza? We got some sodas. I said, I don't want anything from you guys. So they're like, okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and take you home. And I said, no, you guys can take me to my dad's because my dad lived way closer to where we were. And I lived completely on the other side of town. So that would have took like maybe a 15-20 minute ride. I don't want to ride with you guys that long. My dad lived probably like 7 minutes away. So when they were taking me to my dad's, before we even pulled all the way up good, my whole family was there. Like people had come from different states and shit. You know what I'm saying? They were already there at my dad's. And so when the police officer pulled up, he ran and let me out of the car, and he ran and jumped back in his vehicle. And I mean, he burned rubber out. He hit it so hard to where you could see the sparks under his car. And there were people there. Dion, her name is this lady named Dion from Stockton, California, where the police shot her son, I believe 40 something times with an AR-15. Aaron Paradiso. These are people that were there that are advocates, for police brutality, police killings in the San Joaquin County area. And these people came to me and were like, we were there. You know what I'm saying? We've been looking for you. We were there for you the whole time. A moment that I have felt so entirely alone. I didn't feel alone anymore because I had finally, I guess, come around people who had the same, like a heart that I did, that I have. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I've told you guys this story just to basically give you a feel of what my dream was. My past person that I was with used to use my brother's assassination to trigger me. You know what I'm saying? And that would trigger me so to the point where it would change my entire mood, my entire being. And that was the way he was able to siphon my energy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why I said I had to tell you guys just this part, because that was in the dream. The Spirit said, the only way they can take your energy from you is when they disrupt you. when you're triggered, when they know your triggers, when they find a trigger, they'll stay constantly giving you that same trigger, trying to alternate your energy. You know what I'm saying? Trying to take you off of your center because they want your high vibrations. They want your good energy because they know that the type of energy that you carry, is priceless. It's priceless, anime. Completely priceless. You understand what I'm saying? And that's another thing why I wondered why, even though I know I love music, I'm a music buff, but I wondered why I always loved the movie What's Love Got to Do with It. And I remembered that line, you're priceless, anime, priceless. And my ex used to say stuff like that. And now I know why. Because of that one trigger. He felt like that was the only thing that he can trigger me on. You know what I'm saying? And it was. It definitely was. I mean, any time that I was in a great mood, I mean, I could be in the most high vibrational mood, singing and dancing and laughing and just happy as I don't know what. And I wouldn't pay him any attention because he was such a downer. You know what I'm saying? Like such a, ugh. Anyway, he would use that. He would use my brother's assassination to take my good energy away. And then the next thing you know, he's all up and happy and feeling good because he just stole my energy. So I guess I just wanted to share that, like basically, collective, know your triggers. You understand what I'm saying? For me, that's not a trigger for me anymore. It definitely does not hurt me anymore. Anything that I have experienced in my life, any heartaches and pains and stresses and turmoils or whatever that I have experienced in my life, don't trigger me anymore. Why? Because I took the time out of my life and went into my life and healed those hurts. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't go in and heal those hurts, people will be able to continuously trigger you on things of your past, of your life or whatever. I'm a type person like this. Nobody can tell you anything about me that I wouldn't be embarrassed to tell you myself. I just want to share that with you guys. Love and life.